So welcome back from the break. You are watching Rowan TV on KROK1 series. So we stopped at question 28. Now we are on question 29. And the topic is inflammation. Inflammation is just a protective response to get rid of agents causing cell injury or consequences of such injury. What is an exudate? An exudate is any fluid filters from the circulatory system into lesions or areas of inflammation. So to the question. A man complains of itching and redness in the buccal area that appeared after shaving. Vesicles filled with transparent fluid are observed on the hyperemic buccal area. What kind of fluid is in the vessels? Already know what an exudate is. So, morphologically, I'll give you the types of exudate that we have. We have one, serous. A serous exudate is when the fluid exudate resembles the serum, or is watery, or is clear. In other words, it is transparent. Fibrinous exudate. It is when there is fibrin content of the fluid exudate and can be crupous or diphtheric. Crupous or diphtheric. Purulent exudate or suppurative exudate. It is when there is formation of pus in infection with pyogenic bacteria. We also have hemorrhagic kind of exudate. This is when there is vascular damage. Then we have catarrhal. That is when the surface of epithelium in case of inflammation produces increased amount of mucus. Alright. So, what kind of exudate are we talking about in this area? But before that, let me just explain what a transudate is. A transudate is an extravascular fluid with low protein and a low specific gravity. It has no nucleated cell count, and the primary cell types are macrophages, lymphocyte, and mesothelial cells. So, with a description of all these things, the correct answer is serous exudate. Serous exudate, because it is clear, it's a transparent fluid. Are observed. So, answer is E. 30. Autopsy of a man who had died of crupous pneumonia, that's a clue, crupous pneumonia, has shown opaque fluid in the pleural cavity. There was also a membrane of gray content on the visceral pleura. What kind of inflammation has developed on the pleura? Of course, fibrinous. So the exudate in fibrinous can be what? Crupous or what? Diphtheric. But this is fibrinous. So, answer is B. 31. On the third day of diphtheria, so you're talking about what? Fibrinous, okay. A 4-year-old girl died of diphtheria croup. The autopsy has shown taken edematous dull mucous tonic of the larynx, trachea, bronchi, and a grayish membrane, that could be easily separated, covered the mucous tonic. Name the kind of inflammatory process. Of course, we are talking about fibrinous, so that's D. 32. Autopsy of a girl who died of asphyxia has shown what the mucous tonic of trachea and bronchi is covered with white-gray membrane, white-gray, that is loosely connected with underlying tissue and can be easily removed with forceps. It can be easily removed. That's a clue. And of course, the fact that it is gray. So it is fibrinous, right? Good. Now, the lumen of the segmental bronchi was filled with quacky gray white masses. What kind of tracheobronchitis does the exudation indicate? Now, of course, we have already agreed that it's a fibrinous. But fibrinous contains what? Two types. We have what? Crupous and we have what? Diphtheric. Now, pus form can be removed, whilst in diphtheric form, it cannot be removed. Hence, our answer is what? Pus. 33. A 5-year-old girl fell ill of diphtheria. In 3 days, she died of asphyxia resulting from diphtheria croup. The autopsy has shown thickened edematous dull mucous tonic of larynx, trachea, bronchial covered with grayish membrane that can easily separated, of course. That can be easily separated from the mucous tonic. What inflammation is indicated by such morphological changes? Of course. Same question. Answer is C. Because it can be separated. 34. A man died of shigellosis. Mucous tonic of large intestine is plethoric, covered with gray membrane that can be hardly separated. That means it cannot be removed. So what kind of inflammation is it? Or exudation is it? It can't. So it's E. It's E. 35. A 28-year-old patient has considerably enlarged plethoric painful tonsils. On their surface, there are solid gray membranes that spread to the hard palate and are tightly connected with underlying tissues. Tightly connected. It can't be removed. An attempt to separate them leads to bleeding. So what morphological process determines this? Of course, diphtheric form. So the answer is what? A. 36. Spongy and cortical bones of the tibia in different areas are in the state of destruction. Cavities which have already appeared are filled with creamy masses of soporous color. Creamy mass, that is pus. What is the most possible form of inflammation? So if it is pus, we are talking about what? Suppurative. So the answer is A. 37. Autopsy of a 47-year-old man who died of pulmonary heart failure has shown a cavity filled with pus in the left lung. The wall is scapuloid, uneven, presented by pulmonary tissue. Diagnose the guy. They say it's what? Pus. So what do you think? Now, definitely there's an abscess of acute form because the necrotic mass is central, but in chronic it has both internal pyogenic membrane, medium granulation tissue, and external, that's fibrous tissue membrane. So your answer is D. And don't forget, it's D. Now these ones, no relation, but correct answer is D. It can be chronic. 38. After an operative intervention of a patient, that's burn disease, under the condition of severe organism reactivity decrease, a sepsis advance led to death. Sepsis advance, sepsis is your guy. In the area of the anterior abdominal wall, the diffuse infiltration of intermuscular space, segmental leukocyte, tissue edema, and muscle fibers lysis are microscopically observed. Define the kind of inflammation. Now, this is sepsis. Now, with sepsis, it means bacterial intoxication. Hence, there's pus. Now, what is a phlegmon? A phlegmon is a diffuse purulent inflammation, and there was a diffuse pus infiltration in the question. Diffuse infiltration. So, our answer is what? Phlegmon. It cannot be diphtheria. No, it cannot be abscess. It cannot be necrosis. It cannot be cataract. Don't forget it's what? Mucus. Okay. So, 39. A patient complains of high temperature, dyspnea, and pain in the right part of the thorax. During the pleural tapping, 700 ml of yellow-green creamy fluid talks about what? Pus, exactly. Define the disease. So yellow-green creamy fluid is what? Is pus. Now, there's a terminology here that you need to understand. This term called empyema. Empyema is actually a purulent inflammation of serous membrane. Hence, the answer is pleural empyema. It is not fibrinous, it is not serous, it is not carcinomatosis, neither is it hemorrhagic. It is what? Empyema, pus formation in the pleural cavity. That's it. 40. Autopsy of a man who died of sepsis has shown a fibrinous inflammation of the pleural bone, of the femoral bone that envelopes the marrow, Hypersensitivity canals, adjacent soft tissues, and periosteum. There are also multiple abscesses under the periosteum. Define the most possible pathological process. Usually, sepsis is of acute form. Note that. And if not treated, it now leads to what? To death. Hence, our first answer could be what? Could be acute. And why it cannot be chronic hematogenous osteomyelitis is because of sepsis. So our answer is acute hematogenous osteomyelitis. Osteoporosis simply means bone loss, which becomes weak and can even break when it falls. So our answer is acute hematogenous osteomyelitis. Right, so let's go to 41. We're dealing with what? Proliferative inflammation. That is when there's what? Regeneration and the thing is coming to heal. 41. During the ultrastructural examination of biopsy material, there was detected an increased amount of lysosomes. You see, ultrastructure meaning what? Organelles. So lysosomes in the cytoplasm of macrophage that forms the inflammatory what? Inflammation. This is evidence of course, phagocytosis what? Activation. Don't forget, lysosomes do what? They digest or they destroy. And if a lot of them are found in the macrophages, it means phagocytosis has been what? Activated. So the answer is A. 42. During the histological examination of a 24-year-old patient's skin, biopsy material, there was detected aqueous necrosis surrounded by lymphocyte infiltration. You see, lymphocyte infiltration with single giant cells, connecting tissue enlargement, endovasculitis. What kind of pathological process is it? Now, giant cells are always of chronic granulomatous what? Inflammation. Chronic granulomatous what? Inflammations. So our answer is A. Productive granulomatous inflammation. Now, example of this granulomatous inflammation or giant cells specifically include Langerhans giant cells, which are arranged at the periphery like horseshoe ring. We also have foreign body giant cells, which are usually central. So just take note for your information. Now, autopsy of a dead 60-year-old man has shown a great number of white nodules of corn size in his lungs and liver. Microscopically, there were detected many granulomas, giant cells, with a focus of necrosis in the middle. On the periphery of the granuloma, there were epithelioid, lymphoid, plasma cells, macrophages, and a great amount of what? Langerhans cells, which dominates in infiltrate. What granulomatous is it? I've already explained to you that this is an example of what? Giant cell. So your answer is E. 44. Microscopic examination of biopsy kidney material has shown a focus with granular eosinophilic masses in the middle that were surrounded by lymphocytes, what? Infiltrate, epithelioid cells, and single perigorph Langerhans cells. What pathological process is it? I've already explained to you. If you see giant cells, don't think much. Go for what? Granulomatous what? Inflammation. So answer is A. 44 is A. Mm-hmm. 45. A 46-year-old patient complained of heavy nasal breathing. In the thickened nasal mucous membrane, biopsy material revealed what? Nucleus cells. This is your guy, nucleus cells. An aggregation of epithelial cells, plasmocyte, lymphocyte, hyaline spheres were detected. What is your diagnosis? Anytime you see nucleus cells, you go for what? Rhinoscleroma. Rhinoscleroma, for those who care to know, is just a chronic granulomatous condition of the nose and other structures of the upper respiratory tract. The rest, you can just Google it yourself, or you go through the material and you see explanation to almost all of them. 46. In the nasal mucous membrane, biopsy material, epithelial cells, plasmocyte, nucleus cells. Come on, it's the same thing. So your answer is E. 47. A patient who complained of dyspnea had nasal mucous membrane biopsy done. The diagnosis was made rhinoscleroma. What cells? Of course. If it's not there, then it's here. So it's what? Nucleus cells. So the answer is C. 48. A 40-year-old man had hyperemia and edema of skin in the neck region. In the course of time, a small pyogenic abscess developed there. The focus is solid of yellow-green color on the cut surface. White grains can be seen in the purulent mass. Histological examination showed fungus juices, plasma and xanthoma cells. Macrophages indicate the most possible kind of mycosis. Of course, your answer should be what? Actinomycosis. This is a long-term infection that causes sores or abscesses in the body's soft tissues. It was first thought to be caused by a fungus, but a family of bacteria called Actinomycosis causes it. Now, fungus juices, plasma, and xanthoma. Xanthoma means irregular yellow patch cells. Macrophages are very typical of actinomycosis. So, that is why we will go for actinomycosis. Sporotrichosis is actually a fungal disease of the skin. Aspergillosis is also a fungal disease infection. Candidiasis is also a fungal infection caused by Candida. So, basically, that is it for that. Now, number 49, now we're moving to immune-associated processes. This place, I love it so much. But that's hypersensitivity reactions. So, 49. During the treatment of a 39-year-old patient with purulent papillitis, he had infiltration anesthesia with ultracaine with adrenaline solution done. Suddenly, hyperemia, skin edema with blisters, and itching appeared. What kind of hypersensitivity does the patient have? Of course, because of this, there was itching and blah, 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 blah. So, that's kind of what? Anaphylactic. That's what? That one, actually. Because it's immediate type. So, the answer is B. Question 50. Question 50, which might be my last for this particular session. Question 50. During the histological examination of a man who had bronchial asthma for many years, and had died of suffocation, a great amount of mucus with eosinophils in the lumen of bronchioles and small bronchi, interalveolar sclerosis and alveolar lumens dilation were detected. What mechanism of hypertensive reaction is it? Always know that asthma is always of type 1 hypersensitivity, which in this here, over here, our answer is what? Raging reaction. Another term for type 1 hypersensitivity. So your answer is A. So guys, if you have still not subscribed to our channel, kindly do so. Recommend to others. Let them get it. The earlier you prepare, the better. Don't wait for it's too late. Enjoy. Bye for now.